in the earlier game. And that one is way outside. Be around 40 degrees, if that. There's a pretty stiff wind blowing out towards left field. The lights are on, and it's going to be cold. That'll bring up Sergio Ramos, the left fielder.
As you can see, I'm Sergio Ramos. Grew up in a small town, Perth Amboy, New Jersey, and it was a wild story. See, growing up, it was only me and my sister, my mother, my father. My father worked a lot, talked a lot about, how great, he was going to strive and work to, get his family to, become successful. And me growing up as a kid, I was always that type of kid, since my dad wasn't around until I was like 2 or 3, and, and having my uncle that really played the picture in the game when I was growing up, when it came to, putting a bat in my hand and trying to throw like a piece of, like a ball of paper or something, trying to, hit it. When it came to that, and that's when they noticed that since the moment, they pitched that paper ball with that plastic bat back in the day, and I took that first swing, they looked at it like I was gonna be a star or something. Growing up in a household, my mother, she really cared about how, how things went with us at school and stuff. She was really strict about how, keep our grades and, A and B's. My mother was in a C type of lady, and my sister was one of those, she was still in grade school. And me being the older one, I always took a lot of responsibilities, for the house. My father worked a lot. My dad, wake up at 3 in the morning, go to work, come home. Sometimes I wouldn't even see him because I'd already be asleep by like 8 o'clock at night. My dad got home, he probably, things I remember like, giving us a kiss on the cheek or like a hug, hey, I'm home. But things like that you don't really remember and stuff, But at the end of the day, they do it for us, growing up. And I never understood why my father worked so much, sometimes. Like, it wasn't necessary for him to work, like 13, 14 hours a day when he could just do the full 8 and still take care of us, But he went out and pushed his limit to actually help us, and him saying to himself, like him forcing himself a little more would be better, for the future, for my kids and stuff. Remember when I was like 4 or 5, my uncle, Bare Mahalista, he was a big pro player, did his time and stuff. Whenever he would come back, he would take me out all the time to go at least just feed me ground balls or just throw, just to play catch, stuff like that, just to show, just to print the picture out there to my parents that that it was gonna be a great time, and showing and starting young that I could be someone in the future.
Ramos is a senior, 5'10", 160 pounds. Excuse me. Silva's first pitch, and that is in there for a called strike. Ramos comes in batting 167 as well. There's another strike. So Silva ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the first. As Silva tries to waste the pitch, Ramos won't bite on it, and so the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the earlier game, the JFK Mustangs came back from an 8-5 deficit to defeat. There's a ball outside, 3-1 now, or 2-2. I'm sorry, to defeat Piscataway 9-8 on a single in the bottom of the 7th by Ariel Tejada. And that is up high for ball 4.
Nobody better, bro, when you're going up the middle on opposite field. That's it. You're right there, bro. You're locked in. That's how I know when you're locked in.
So when I first met Sergio, really, it was on the baseball field my sophomore year in high school. And, you know, the first thing I noticed was really how charismatic the kid was. You know, he spoke to everybody with great energy. And, you know, this man would just find anything to talk about. And once he got into the conversation, you know, he stayed in it. He carried on great conversations, especially with me, you know, throughout the whole year. At the time, he was a senior, so I only got to spend 1 year with him. But I kind of got to learn, you know, the kind of player, the kind of athlete, the kind of teammate that he was. And, you know, he was just one of those guys where, you know, extremely talented as an athlete. The kid was fast. He played great defense. You know, he also hit very well. He just did it all for us. And the kid was, you know, just as good of a teammate as he was athlete. Just brought tons of energy to the game. He was always ecstatic, you know. He's very passionate about things that he loves, and baseball was definitely one of those things. Cars is definitely another one of those things that he's just very passionate about. He could just go on for days just talking about it. And he's just one of those people that you want on your team. You know, if somebody's down, the kid is going to go to them and be like, yo, you know, you got another opportunity coming up, so just take advantage of that. Don't worry about the past, because, you know, we can only control what's to come in the future. And really, he was definitely somebody that was missed after he was gone. And I'm really appreciative for having a teammate like Sergio. He's definitely someone that I looked up to in the aspect of being a better teammate myself. So, you know, I'm very thankful for having had someone like Sergio in this baseball career that I've been in for quite a long time now.
Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Where can I start about Sergio Ramos? When you grow up in Pretambo and you play baseball, everybody knows each other. I came into the country when I was like 3 or 4, and the first stop was getting me into a team, which was what we call Behind Wendy's, which is the Pretambo Recreational Baseball Center, basically. That's where every kid wanted to play baseball. That's when I first encountered with Sergio. I was in the Giants and he was in the Red Sox. He was this big as 9-year-old. at least he was just bigger than everybody else. Everywhere he went, he was bigger than everybody else. So we're playing, and this kid is just like hitting balls everywhere, stealing the bases. You name it, he was doing everything. Then we made a team called Caribbean All Stars. That's when everybody started getting tight. Those were like the best 11, 12, 13-year-olds. The best 11, 12, 13-year-olds in Perth Amboy. So we all made one travel squad. And you could see that Sergio was pretty like talented. And everybody knew that. And I knew that personally. And Sergio had like this fire every time he stepped on the field that no other kid had, and that's the way he goes on through life. Once he dedicates to something, he'll give 100,000%. So and that basically pushed me to do better, seeing him the way he played the game. So and then it led up to like high school and middle school. Middle school, forget about it. He was like the greatest player to ever come out of middle school baseball. And then high school came. That's when we really got super, super tight. He moved by my house. We always just see each other. We always talk. Me and his mom got like very close together. I always just see his sister around and stuff like that. But then he left to DR, I think his sophomore year, and that's when everything started like shifting with him. And with baseball, he was like second thinking himself. And but he was still the best player I ever seen, because he had the speed, he could bat for average, for power. He had absolutely a cannon. And then my nickname that I gave him was the horse. When you saw Sergio run, it was seeing a horse running in full speed with his head down, just those strides, long strides with his long legs. That's something about Sergio. His legs are humongous, and that's the nickname I gave him. And his power, it was natural. Like something that it was God given, basically. His arm, it was always there since the start. I wish he would have played more, because I saw a future in him, and his baseball was basically his future. But God has like a different plan for him, and it looks like it's actually working. But me and Sergio always got we got super tight. He played with a fire. He played baseball with a fire, and that's what helps me to this day play the game the way I play. And
that can't be right. 1 for 7 on the season. But always dangerous. He's going to get rolling at some point. You just hope it's not against you if you're Woodbridge here today. And that pitch is wide. As you can see, Silva taking great caution facing Brito. Brito, an all-conference player. Checks the runner, throws over. But Ramos is back safely. Perth Amboy, pretty young team. And the good news for them, Diaz and Brito are both sophomores, so they're going to be around for a long time. There goes the runner. Pitch is up high. Good pitch to throw on for the catcher, but Gonzalez's throw sails a little wide, and so Ramos has a stolen base, and the Panthers have a runner in scoring position with their two big guns coming up.
Me and him always like played together, or at least played with each other or against each other. we bring it back to like Little League, Caribbean All Star, travel ball, even high school baseball. I wish he could have kept going. He like kind of went back and forth of stop playing, playing, and he didn't really have the guidance basically. I wish he could have played because he would have gone basically a long way. As a teammate, he's always there for you, no matter what. Even as a person, he's always there for you. He's always gonna be there and like to like bring you up. He's always gonna give you like hitting tips, what is the pitcher throwing, and stuff like that. And he always played with a fire in him that it just motivated me to play it just as hard as him. So when I played against him, it was always a dogfight. Me and him. All I can say is thank you, Sergio, for pushing me to the limits, giving me all these hitting tips, talking to me, and stuff like that. That's basically what I got for Sergio and the way he plays his game and the way he carries on through life, basically giving 100% on everything he does.